All right, let's start with a device that might be in your hand right now. What's it like? Is it sleek, minimalist, all about the aesthetic? Or is it rugged, practical, built to last? Whatever it is, that choice says way more about you than you probably realize. It's actually a key that unlocks a much, much bigger idea.
And this right here, this is the core concept. Brands, just like people, have their own distinct personalities. Seriously, think about it for a second. Are you more of a free-spirited, adventurous Jeep? Or are you more of a sophisticated, forward-thinking Tesla? The reason you're pulled toward one over the other, well, it often boils down to this incredibly powerful connection. Its personality just clicks with your own.
So how does this connection actually work? In this first part, we're going to pull back the curtain and look at the invisible forces that are guiding your hand pretty much every time you make a purchase.
Think about it like this. Marketers are absolute experts at this game. They either build a brand personality they know will attract a certain type of person, or they'll literally reshape a brand's entire image to match the people they want to reach. Apple is just a masterclass in this. They project this personality built around creativity, innovation, and this idea of empowering you through technology.
Now, to really get this, we've got to take one step back and understand what personality even is from a psychological standpoint. Because really, it's the foundation for everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so what this really means is that your personality creates these consistent patterns in how you act. It's the reason you might always go for the familiar, safe option, or maybe why you're always the first in line to try something brand new. That consistency, that is exactly what marketers have been studying for decades, and it all started with some really foundational theories. So, you've got Sigmund Freud, who saw our personality as this constant battle raging inside our own heads. First, there's the id. That's our basic primal instinct screaming, I want it and I want it now. Then you have the superego, which is like your inner moral compass, always pushing for what's right and perfect. And who's stuck in the middle trying to make peace? The ego. This whole struggle can drive our purchases. Buying that ridiculously expensive watch? That might just be your id-demanding status. The guilt you feel after? That's your superego. The purchase itself is the ego's attempt to find a compromise.
Now, what's really interesting is how later theorists took Freud's ideas and ran with them. They argued that our personality is actually shaped by how we deal with other people. So, are you a compliant type who moves toward others, maybe preferring brands that everyone knows and loves? Or are you aggressive, moving against others, buying things that signal power and success? Or maybe you're detached, moving away from the crowd, seeking independence and not really caring about brands at all.
Modern psychology often leans on something called trait theory, which is a lot more direct. It basically measures specific, identifiable traits that are super relevant to how we behave as consumers. Think of it as your personal scorecard. Are you high on innovativeness? Well, you're probably an early adopter. High on materialism? You just place a lot of importance on owning stuff. For marketers, these measurable traits are absolute gold.
Okay, so all these theories are the building blocks, but they all point toward what might be the single most powerful idea in all of consumer psychology, this complex and sometimes clashing idea of the self. We all have these two versions of ourselves living in our heads. Your actual self might be the person who, takes the bus to work every day, but your ideal self, that's the successful executive cruising in a luxury car. And it's right in that gap, the space between who we are and who we want to be, that's where marketing just thrives. And this quote from the source material just nails it. It gets right to the heart of the matter. Our own self-esteem acts like a switch. If it's pretty high, we tend to buy things that reflect our actual self. But if it's low, we are way more likely to buy products that help us chase that ideal self, almost hoping that a purchase can somehow close the gap for us.
All right, so with that understanding of our inner selves, let's zoom back out and see how this all plays out in the real world. How the things we choose to own get all tangled up with our very identity.
You know that feeling when you're shopping and something just feels right? Like it was made for you? That's this concept in action. Self-image congruence. We are subconsciously drawn to products that mirror how we see ourselves. So if you see yourself as an athlete, you buy Nike. If you see yourself as an intellectual, maybe you grab a Moleskine notebook. It just clicks because the product's image and your self-image are in sync.
But it goes even deeper than that. I mean, think about a musician's first guitar.
or a family heirloom like a watch passed down from a grandparent. These aren't just things, are they? The theory of the extended self explains how these external objects actually become a part of us. They're extensions of our memories, our skills, our very identity.
And this idea of an extended self kind of operates in these 4 expanding circles. It starts at the individual level, with your personal things, like your car and your clothes. Then it ripples out to the family level, your home, your furniture. Then it goes even wider, to your community, your town, your neighborhood. And finally, all the way out to the groups you belong to, like your favorite sports team. All of these things become a part of who you are.
Of course, we can't talk about identity today without talking about the massive new stage where we perform it every single day. So how has the digital world completely changed the game?
You know, the old saying used to be, you are what you wear. But today, the new rule is, you are what you post. Social media, virtual worlds, they've given us these unbelievable tools to build, polish, and project a very specific version of ourselves out into the world.
And this creates a really fascinating dynamic, right? In the real world, you might be having a totally stressful, messy day. But your digital self, the one you put on Instagram, can be this perfectly curated highlight reel of amazing vacations and career wins. We edit, we filter, and we project a version of ourselves that is often much, much closer to our ideal self. It's the ultimate stage for performing our identity.
So, when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Whether you're adding something to your online shopping cart or adding a new photo to your feed, you are making a statement about who you are, or maybe who you want to be. So the next time you make one of those choices, just ask yourself, are you buying for the person you are right now? Or are you buying for the person you hope to become? The answer? Well, it just might